Okay, today's demonstration, I want to showcase a little bit of a challenge within the bench press that I like to give clients. Now, this is something a little bit different. I want to, firstly, as a disclaimer, make sure you've warmed up correctly, and often you may need a spotter if you're doing it on a free weighted bench press. Now, you can use the Smith machine if you're doing it on your own, just as a safety precaution, perfectly fine there. So it's called the bench press 60 rep challenge. So what we're effectively going to do is try and achieve 60 reps through as little rests as we can within that frame. So you want to start with a weight that's adequate enough in terms of load without it being super heavy. We're not trying to lift a 1RM, we're not trying to do a 3 or a 5. We need to obviously get 60 reps. So it's probably going to be maybe 50 or 60% of your total 1RM. And after a couple of warm-up sets to make sure you are adequately warm, that's where you start. So let's say most males, I start when I do this face-to-face at about, say, 40 kilo. Okay, seems light because most males can probably lift 60, 80, 100 depending. But 40 kilos over, potentially 20, 30, 40 reps is quite high. So you start at 40 kilos and you rep it out. Now, there is strategy involved in this, and it's up to the individual. It's up to you when you watch this and then when you implement it as to how you strategize this particular challenge. You can try and get as many reps out as you can, or when you break it down, you've got to remember, and this is a caveat, that there is a penalty. There is a weight penalty. So every time you rack it, you have to, due to fatigue or potential failure, you rack the weight. So say you get to 20 reps, you rack the weight, 2.5 kilos goes on, so 1.25 on either end. So every time you stop throughout the 60, you go up 2.5 kilos, okay? So you start at 40 kilos, maybe I only get to 15 or 20, I put 2.5 on, so there's 42.5. Then I get another 10 out, another 2.5 goes on. So that's, what's that, 42 and a half, 45, and you keep going up. So it gets heavier every time you have to stop, so hence the strategy. If you go too hard too early, you're going to fatigue more and potentially have a really challenging period at the back end. Or if you break it down, you might be able to manage it more, but you also probably have more rest. So you can see how challenging it can be. It's really, really beneficial. It creates a lot of volume through the chest. It is fantastic in terms of obviously implementing the bench press itself in terms of technique, and you've got to make sure that that is sustained throughout. But it is a fantastic way of accumulating a lot of volume, a lot of load. It's a great, fun challenge, particularly if you've got a training buddy. You can obviously spot each other and really challenge each other, G each other on. It's a fantastic way of doing that. So I don't necessarily need to demonstrate it now, but flat bench, you can do it on incline if you want as well. Smith machine if you're on your own, okay? 60 rep challenge, that's what you want to start at. Now, if you want to do more than one set, depending on how this is programmed, or if you're doing it on your own, you can do a second set, but my recommendation would be after the first 60 and you get through that, it's to reduce the starting weight of the second one, and that will allow you to potentially get through the second one because you're going to fatigue pretty heavily, you're going to get a lot of soreness and tightness through the chest, and the tries are going to start to get cooked as well. So give that one a go. Bench press 60 rep challenge, I highly recommend. It's a lot of fun, it's a big challenge, and I'd love to hear any feedback on where you start, where you finish, and potentially the weights you lift. So